squad, same squad. Drop top, coupe, Dodge raindrops. Big bang plays on FaceTime. Squad ain't with me, then it ain't right. Ay, 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 ay.
Money back. Money back. Money back. Make it like a money back. Money back. God, I do the Maybach on Monday, Ferrari Friday. This is sweet Saturday. That's just what I say. I said, babe, it's. He said it's a. Them pretty. You look like Beyonce. Looking like money back, money back, money back, money back, money back, money back, yeah. Money back, money back, money back, money back, money back, money back. He can tell from the front, I got it behind me. And I parked my Bentley truck on my Versace driveway. Looking like money back, money back, money back, money back, money back, money back. Money back, money back, money back, money back, money back, money back. With me pretty too, they look like bridesmaids. And they all gang, so don't be talking sideways. He said you look like this. He makes sure he put Cardi down on his.
This is Madden 19. I'm the coach. You're locked into the NFL on EA Sports. We're just about set to get started, and this ought to be a good one between the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Jacksonville Jaguars.
All right, Coach, EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to the Sunshine State in TIAA Bank Field here in Jacksonville. Coming up, we've got a good matchup on tap between the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Jacksonville Jaguars. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Carry here for Orleans Darkwa. And he'll wind up losing yardage here back at the 21-yard line. It's a loss of 4 there, bringing up second down.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one behind the line of scrimmage.
Jameis to throw it. Rush coming, and he's taken down. Telvin Smith leading the surge there. He drops him for a loss of 6.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
Winston needing a big play after the sack as he leads the Bucs up on 3rd and long. Working out of the gun, Winston. It's caught by Mike Evans. He showed off a nice juke of the defender before the next wave could bring him down. They do get 10 back, but still a ways to go on 4th.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start, getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be second down.
Defensively here, you're facing a top-5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL, so when they're that high-powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20, because to me, that's the magic number. 20-point score gives yourself you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
And I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace. That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route, and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to...
Will Fuller, nobody there to stop him. Touchdown, Jaguars. Will Fuller, 56 yards. And the Jags have taken the early lead. And that catch puts him past the great Jerry Rice. For the most receiving yards in a single season, he's now up over 1,848.
At one point, we called Jerry Rice Flash. How about the dash we saw here today? The dash towards his record and past it. What a tremendous achievement. And how much fun is it for us to be here to witness it?
It's a pinch-me moment for us. Now the Buccaneer offense gets set to take over. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 16 yards right off the bat and a first down.
Now, that was an excellent run. And when you see that happen, that's when you're seeing guys doing their job and then some people doing a little bit more. Offensive linemen and tight ends, they're expected to block. But the wide receivers, all they want to do is catch passes. So when they block on a big-time running play and create extra space, you've kind of hit the jackpot there.
And this passing game's whole offense really didn't show up in the loss last week, and it hasn't started all that great here either.
Yeah, and they can't let that incompletion become an uh-oh moment. Like, oh boy, here we go again, just like last week. Each game is its own entity, treated as such. Call it a 1-yard gain on the play, and that'll lead here to a third down. So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
He sets up the screen to Jones. And he'll get up near the 45. They'll spot it at the 44. And a screen only good for 3 that time, and it'll bring up a fourth down.
Well, the good thing about covering any game I do with you is I know that there's no problem with rhythm. Now, what we're watching offensively, a little bit of a problem there.
Yeah, punt on the first drive, looking at another one here. Just a little slow. And, you know, they were talking about a fast start, but that hasn't been the case.
Yeah, and let's face it, any team we cover always talks about a fast start.
That's true.
But it's not necessarily going to happen just because they say so. And whether it's the script, whether it's the...
Will Fuller, nobody there to stop him. 20. And he will get this into the end zone for a Jaguar touchdown. Will Fuller, an 80-yard touchdown. And the Jaguars are able to strike quickly for 6. Footing always a concern, but the extra point's up and good. And that'll make the score 14-0. Here's Lambeau out to kick this one away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. And Tampa Bay trots out there now. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. Now a second down throw for Winston. A dump underneath to Jones. And he went nowhere. He'll lose yardage back to the 29. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up third down.
That was well defended, and while it was a completion, it resulted in a loss of yardage. It's really, really hard for a running back to think to himself, I probably should have just dropped it and saved the yardage. It goes against the entire training that he's had his whole career.
And that is incomplete. Back now with Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. It's the Bucs in possession of the football as we begin the second quarter. They are, however, facing a fourth down situation. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. Taking it about the 16. Another hurdle. Good blocking there. Nearly sprung him as it is. It'll go as a 19. Out comes the Jacksonville offense as they get set to take over here. And last time, the formula was pretty simple. One-play drive, long pass. That maybe they just want to do that again, right?
And that's exactly how you want to draw things up. Whether it's on your grease board, right, in your playbook, one-play drive is exactly what you want on offense. What they have to be careful of is not having a letdown. It was real easy last time. They can't expect that going forward.
Yeah, we'll see if it's that easy here. Now Bortles. Oh, a ball batted in the air, and now it's intercepted. Carlton Davis picks it, and they will set up shop at their own 41-yard line.
This interception will go on the record of the quarterback, but as a receiver, you've got to understand where you are in the field. Middle portion, you know it's going to come in hot. Square your body to the quarterback and be ready to make the catch.
Now Darquan. And he'll be taken down across the 50 at the 45 in enemy territory. First down yardage on the first play of the drive, 14 yards.
I'm okay with the call there. In fact, I actually like it. I know they're down a couple of scores, but the running game worked in that situation. I would continue to go in that direction.
And Brate, the tight end's got it. Just a yard on the catch there. It'll be 2nd and 9.
And, partner, I think that's a great example that not all tight ends are created equal because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
On the run, Darquan. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. They go play action here on 1st down. Try to lay one up deep. And that one falls incomplete. Looked like he might have had position there, but he couldn't hold on and it's 2nd down. Seems like this defense, especially the secondary, has really been contesting about every throw in this first half.
Remind me of a good half-court defensive basketball team. Every time a pass is thrown, they're right there and get to the good defensive position, able to affect the play.
Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. A good pickup there at 22.
And he's the epitome of what we call the move tight end, a guy that you can line up anywhere, in the slot, out wide, in tight, doesn't really matter because he has such great skills, you want to utilize him in all aspects of your passing offense.
And there he was in the slot for the catch. First time into the red zone for the Buccaneers. They've got a 1st and goal from the 10-yard line. They'll run with Darquan. Yeah, this play doesn't go anywhere. Backwards, losing yardage to the 11. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
So the myth has been shattered. Every cornerback in the league is not just a cover corner. Some of them will stick their nose in there and make plays exactly as we just saw there. A big loss suffered by the offense after that nice tackle.
Play fake. Winston. And he's into the end zone for a Tampa Bay touchdown. O.J. Howard, his 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Bucs have made this a one-score game. Boy, it's nice to have that big, reliable target you can go to.
Each and every time. A lot of people see that position as a fallback. Throw it to them when all else fails. Not at all. This guy can make plays, and that's exactly what he just did.
Yeah, play here for a touchdown. That's fielded in the end zone. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. And out now comes Jacksonville as they get ready to go. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think...
And now look at this. Big game, but a fumble. And the Buccaneers have it.
All these years we've been watching the game, I start to get the sense that whenever it rains out, those guys have to touch the ball.
first down. Here's the run with Montgomery. And a decent gain there as that takes us to the 2-minute warning. 2 minutes to play here in the first half. Back with more from Jacksonville. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back after this. All right, coming up at intermission. Charles, you want to wait in enhance your Saturday?
I certainly do.
I've got just a thing for you. It's the coach, Jonathan Coachman, standing by in Orlando. He'll be alongside at half to take us through the weekend in the NFL. And he'll go down at the 28. They get 9 out of that one, and as a result, the drive continues.
At this stage of the game, the run-pass numbers are a little bit out of whack because most of the yardage has come through the air. But in a sense, that just sets things up for big runs like that because the defense might be a little bit off balance. They pick up another first down with that run.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And taking it to the 15-yard line before he's brought down. That one good for a gain of 13 for Jacksonville and a first down.
Tremendous blocking by the interior of the offensive line. They didn't just gash him there. They blasted a gaping hole for him to gallop through. I think if he comes back to the huddle, he better be giving them a whole lot of credit and thanking them for that much space to rumble.
And before this second down play, we'll get a whistle, a signal, and a timeout, as they'll stop it with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play. Now they'll throw it. Bortles. And he takes it in. Touchdown, Jacksonville. Third touchdown pass of the game for Blake Bortles. And the Jaguars add on to their lead. And that'll give them a 2-score lead here, but I'm looking ahead. They just want to hold it for the final moments here of the second quarter. They don't want to give up anything on the other side.
No, not at all, because if they don't, it almost had the feel of an imposing their will score. And right now, they want to make sure they keep that and carry it into the second half.
That's fielded in the end zone. And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee, and they'll bring the football out to the 25. And this offense trotting back onto the field. Let's turn our attention here to Ronald Jones. And a lot of times you talk about establishing the ground game. Probably something they need to do more of here, losing in the second quarter.
When you're riding your best horse, you've got to lather him up. The best running backs I've ever talked to, they've all said the exact same thing to me. I'll even break a good sweat until I get to 20 carries.
You're full of good wisdom. Let's see if they can get him into the game more now. A little under 30 seconds to go. We'll see how they play it here on 1st and 10. Here's Darkwa. And he'll work his way across the 30 to the 32. Now before this second down play, we'll get whistles and a timeout. As it comes with 22 seconds to go here in half number 1. They'll operate from the 32-yard line here, 2nd and 3. Second down, Winston. He's got his tight end over the middle, O.J. Howard. And now we won't see a play on first down. We're going to get a timeout instead, as they'll stop it with 17 seconds to go in this first half of action. Winston now 8 of 11 in this first half. He's got it 1st and 10. From the shotgun, it's Winston. And that is incomplete. Down to 15 seconds now. The intended target was Chris Godwin. That'll bring up second down. After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. From the gun, Winston. Throwing the out route, incomplete. That's Howard. And he'll get it down on the play to the 37. And offensively, they'll take the timeout with 6 seconds left in the second quarter. So on third down, the field goal unit will come out as he'll try to get 3 before half. This from 54 yards away. And that is no good. He hit it well from distance, but he couldn't work it back in. And this score will stay right where it is.
And this is one of the risks you run when you attempt a long field goal. If you miss, the defense takes over at the spot of the placement. So now they've got a chance to get one more drive in before halftime.
380. 372.
A final shot before half for Bortles. He's going to look deep down. It's caught at the 10. And they do finally get him, but he makes it all the way to the 6. And now, due to apparent time constraints, we fast forward to the beginning of the second half. That'll be taken in the end zone. And all that work, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 20. Out come the Jaguars now as they'll go on offense first here in this third quarter. This is sort of what you would call a put-away drive, isn't it? After they score here, especially a touchdown, it's almost out of reach.
It certainly feels that way, and I think that they're going to call their plays accordingly because what you really want to do, even though you know the scoreboard is still up there and the game's going to go on, in fact, you can take the spirit away from another team, that their drive and will to come back and win can be taken with another score right here.
Still third quarter, but you just get that feel.
Yeah, they're teetering right there on the brink, aren't they?
It's a 4-yard pickup there, and it leaves them with 3rd and 5.
Third quarter, and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
Move. Hank.
From the gun on 3rd down, Bortles. Hard throw, incomplete.
I know coaches tell us all the time that having a powerful arm isn't the #1 thing they look for in a quarterback. But when you're trying to throw inside routes and you need to put some heat on it, it helps to have the big gun. In this case, just a little bit too much.
Lucy. Hank.
Here we go on 4th down with Bortles. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Cole. And he will have a first down as they get him to the ground at the 37. They're able to keep the drive alive 7 yards that time, and the decision to go for it proves to be a good one. They'll run it now out of the gun. Room to run past midfield. And finally marked down at the 42-yard line. That's good for 21 yards and a first down.
That outside handoff to the left, that play has to warm the heart of an offensive line coach because they controlled the left side where they were supposed to. They didn't allow anything to leak from the backside on the right side of the offensive line either. Well played.
Yeah, and it created a big run. First down, they run again. Here's Montgomery. And very little there. He might have gotten a yard. Yeah, I think he got a yard to the 41.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Bortles going to throw. Eluding the pressure right. Wide open receiver complete. And he will get this into the end zone for a Jaguar touchdown. Will Fuller, 41 yards. And the Jaguars add 6 to their lead.
That drive that really increased their cushion felt very military to me. Very precise, methodical, that's one of the words you've taught me. And they just got it done.
And slowly but surely now starting to pull away a little bit. Things looking good for them here in the third quarter.
Not only pulling away, but you mentioned that slowly but surely. You also drain clock, too, with a drive like that. So you really give yourself an advantage.
Here comes the Buccaneers offense. They get their first reps of the second half. They trail offense, first time to touch the ball in quarter 3, and we'll see what they can do.
And I can't wait to see what they have planned because some teams script to start a half. Other teams just go, okay, these are the sequence of plays we want to run. These things worked well for us. And sometimes they throw in that big chunk play right away.
Shocker.
Try and get after them early and try and create a big play to give themselves some momentum.
See what they have up their sleeve.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
And they take him down, losing yardage back at the 27. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a third down.
Well, if these guys are going to chop into that deficit, they got to do a much better job in the run game. Caught behind the line of scrimmage, no yardage to be found.
On third down, Winston. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up fourth down.
The frustration is definitely setting in because they've thrown it to him over and over, unable to come up with a catch thus far.
I think he knew he would have his challenges against his secondary. I don't think he saw a goose egg at this point in the game. A good return there. Call it 13 yards. And the Jaguars go on offense, first down and 10. And out now comes Jacksonville as they get ready to go. They built up that lead at intermission, and they're just continuing to pour it on right now, aren't they?
Locked into a really good groove right now. I don't know if it's just the play calling. I know the execution is really, really sharp right now, and all the playmakers are doing exactly what you expect. They're making plays, and right now, defense has no answer and no chance of catching up.
Yeah, they're just looking to turn anywhere for a stop defensively.
It's always a battle. Who's going to win on first down, the offense or the defense? Let's face it, if you've got the ball, 4 yards or more on first down is what you're aiming for. They tried to throw for it there. Nice effort to knock that one away and bring up second down.
Bortles again here on 2nd and 10. They'll roll him out right. He's got his man on the crossing route. 23 yards on the play. His big game continues. Already has the 3 touchdown grabs, tacking on some more yardage and a first down.
And how precise has his route running been in this game? We just saw him get open yet again, and he's also made adjustments as the defense has tried to really stop him.
Handoff comes to Montgomery. In on the stop, Vernon Hargreaves.
Well, he was looking for some running room, and there wasn't a whole lot of it there on that play. I think he was lucky to get a couple yards out of it because those defenders, they were rallying to the football pretty quickly.
Again, they'll go ground with Montgomery. And he's able to get across midfield and down into Buccaneer territory. And the tackle there by Quan Alexander.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. They'll run it. Here's Montgomery. And he'll go down, and that will do it for the third quarter of action. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10.
Lucy.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. A 14-yard first down pickup for the Jaguars. Charles, you'd said the magic number was probably right around 20 for this defense because they're facing one of the top 5 offenses in the league in terms of points scored. They've had their moments, but this offense just a little too good, isn't it?
They really are, because no matter what you do to make an adjustment on defense, they've had an answer for it.
Now a play fake here on first down. And he fins him. And this is going to be intercepted. Picked off by Justin Evans. The 40, the 20, 10, and it's a pick 6. He brings it back to the house for a Buccaneer TD. This game's still fairly well in hand, but I think now you go conservative, don't you? Go into your shell and just run the football?
I think you have to, but you also have to tell your backs, make sure you're really protecting the football because you're going to run into a stacked defensive front, which is why they were throwing the football before, trying to make sure they just get their backs, really beat up in that situation. Now, good luck to them.
Fielded about a yard deep. And he will be brought down here at about the 17-yard line. Here comes the Jaguars offense as they get set to go again. And last time, decent field position through the pick 6. Obviously costly.
But they can't afford to just bunker in now. All right, good field position means go ahead and attack on offense. Try and press the advantage a little bit. They just have to be better with the football on this possession.
So that didn't bother you too much last time?
No, because it's exactly what you're supposed to do. You can't have good field position and not try to take advantage of it. Sometimes the defense makes a good play, too.
On second down, here's Bortles. Sliding out of the pocket. His throw incomplete. Will Fuller was the intended target, and it's third down.
Had the right idea there, trying to throw it to the sideline, but he led him just a little bit too much, trying to get it out to his receiver. Ends up falling to the ground, incomplete.
Lucy. You. It's all right.
Now a play fake. Bortles. Oh, the Buccaneer pressure too much. Down he goes. Noah Spence. He's the one to get him, and that's sack number 7 for him on the year. Chalk that up as their first sack in this game, and they tallied 4 a week ago.
And probably not as much exultation in that sack as what took us so long. Because when you get 4 the previous week, you're counting on continuing that momentum. They didn't get that done in the first half of the game. Let's see now if they start to bring even more exotic pressure towards the quarterback.
Now they go for it on 4th, but this one is going to wind up incomplete. And I am not sure, partner, there what the mindset was to go for it. I don't know.
And some teams just feel that possession is the key to everything. They just want to have the football in their hands. No matter how it goes to the other team, they just don't trust doing that. So they say, listen, go for it and try and finish it ourselves.
Now a throw to the end zone on first down, but it winds up incomplete.
I'm going to need some help with this one. How did he miss him? Wide open in the end zone. He's not hurried. He's not hit. And somehow, incomplete?
Yeah.
What happened?
During film study, that's one where he's just going to shake his head, not be able to believe it.
6 points go by the wayside on that one.
It's a gain of 6 on the play, and that's going to bring up a third down.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
To throw is Winston. Well, he's got it. It's a gain of 6 as they're able to convert, and now it's 1st and goal. Clock management definitely critical here if they want to get back in this game.
Absolutely agreed. They have to up the tempo in this case, down a couple of scores. Want to make sure they have a chance to win this ball game.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he'll take it into the end zone. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. Orleans Darkwa with touchdown number 8 on the year. And the Bucs are able to make this a close game again. Extra point up and good by Crosby. And now things get a bit more interesting here in this 4th quarter. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And able to take it past the 20 a little bit, but no further. A flag in there as well. Let's see what this is.
Personal foul, face mask, defense.
Trailing in the 4th, this close of a game, that's a penalty you just can't afford.
It's an absolute killer, and it's one that drives coaches and teammates insane.
So the yellow flag came out, and that leads to a new set of downs for this offense. 1st and 10. And he finds a man with a crossing route. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. That play going for 16 yards to start the drive. 1st down.
Well, how about this aggressive approach? Got the lead, 4th quarter, continuing to throw the football. Are you thinking about Super Bowl 51? Atlanta had the lead against New England, and they ended up giving it up?
I was going to say don't say it, but you did say it.
I did, didn't I?
Yeah, anybody watching Atlanta, our apologies. Time for a break. We'll come back for the electrifying conclusion after this. And not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. Throwing on 1st down is Bortles. Oh, there's that man again. It's complete. A big 3rd down play there for the Jags. 47 yards.
That was a nice pickup, some chunk yardage there. Some of those big yards downfield with a little bit of rack thrown in there, a little run after catch. And it came on a crossing route. I could just hear one of my friends who won 4 Super Bowls as a quarterback always said the same thing. What route does a defense hate? Crossing route. Hate it, hate it, hate it, because it's hard to change direction when they get going full speed in the other way.
They'll run with Montgomery. And he'll take this one in for a Jags touchdown. Ty Montgomery, his 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Jaguars add on to their lead.
Well, it'd be real easy to say that they are firmly in control right now, but I'm looking at your fit.
And it's intercepted at the goal line. Picked off by Quan Alexander. He's got the lane, and there he goes. He's at the 40, past the 20, and he takes it all the way back. It's a pick two, if you will, as that play backfires in a big way. A very pivotal two-point try that does not go their way. Now it's a big uphill battle for the rest of the fourth quarter.
The attempt was to try and make it a one-score game, right? Touchdown, get two, and now you've tied it up. Instead, they don't get it, still down 10.
Now the Buccaneers offense gets ready to head back onto the field. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
And he'll wind up losing yardage here back at the 21-yard line. Winston drops it to Jones in the flat, and he's able to get up here to the 26. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense, as they'll get it with just under 90 seconds remaining. Here's Winston. He's going to let it fly. So they took a shot there on third down, couldn't get it. Now it's fourth.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, fourth quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield. Desperation time. Winston on fourth down. And it's knocked away and incomplete. They had to go for it with such little time remaining, and it's looking like the Jags are going to win this football game. So with that, we can just about close the book on this one, Charles.
Yeah, what's the old expression about slim and none? Well, Slim just left town on that
They're
one.
down to none?
Yes, exactly right.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll get it down inside the 20 to the 18-yard line. Now the Buccaneers go ahead and take another timeout as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming second down play. So they come up on second down. If they can get another run like we just saw, would likely put an end to this thing. Rolling to his right. And that is caught. Touchdown, Jacksonville. Will Fuller, an 18-yard touchdown grab. And the Jaguars add 6 to their lead. Extra point tacked on by Lambeau. And that'll make this a 3-score game now. The lead moves to 17. Here's Lambeau out to kick this one away. This will be fielded on the back line of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And Tampa Bay trots out there now. They're down big here late. I don't know. You just one last drive here for pride?
Some people like to do that. I remember playing for a guy once. We were down huge, and someone said, "Coach, what do you want to call?" He just waved a hand like, who cares? Let's get out of here and do something some other time. But some teams like to do something at the end to feel a little bit better as they continue to move forward.
Yeah, probably just want to put this one behind them. And oh, look at that, a diving catch. A gain of 11 to kick off the drive, and it's a quick first down. And he'll indeed get him to the line and spike it here to stop the clock.
Ready, blue lady.
Now Jameis on second down. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked off around the 37, and his guys are going to get the football at the 37-yard line.
Well, this defensive pressure has been constant all game long. The pass rush, the coverage, they've all been excellent, and now they'll tack on an interception here as this one continues to slip just further and further out of hand.
They'll start on the ground with Montgomery. Nice way to start the drive, a gain of 12 and a first down. And now before this first down play, we're going to get a timeout here. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. Bortles going to look to throw. He'll buy some time right. And he's got his favorite target yet again. It's complete. Touchdown, Jaguars. Will Fuller, 51 yards. And the Jaguars add on to their lead.
Well, I've got to laugh here, and I really don't want to because the old school in me is not happy about this score this late, not necessary. But this is Madden, isn't it?
Yeah.
This is how it works.
Rub it in. Have a day.
I mean, what does it matter? These guys who are playing in this game, there are no feelings
Exactly.
there.
They don't have to face the guy. Well, they might if they're in the same room going head-to-head. But
that's
the
about
virtual guys on the screen don't have to face each other after this one.
In that case, run it up.
And Tampa Bay trots out there now. What do you do here down like this in this situation? Do you maybe just pick something out of the playbook you haven't called in a while, or you call it a day?
You can do that, or you pick something that's a staple for you and should work better and try and execute that on the way out the door and maybe get back to base and feel a little bit better as you end a ball game that's been a frustrating one for you.
And we'll see if they go back to base. One play has them up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. On 1st and 10, Winston. Looking left side, and he's got a man. It's right, and he'll get it out to midfield. Looks like, yeah, they'll spot it right at midfield at the 50. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch. And he'll indeed get him to the line and spike it here to stop the clock. And they can't connect. Incomplete. That stops the clock with 3 seconds left, so probably one final play here in the second quarter, barring a penalty. One last shot now for Winston. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And that will be incomplete. They were going for a consolation TD, but it was